Dragon Ball Super is so stupid because it retcons all the good stuff, its power scaling is out of whack, and its ending sucks donkeys.
And how is that different from, say, Dragon Ball Z? Hey everyone! Have you noticed that in recent years there has been a violent, annoying upswing in the amount of people complaining about literally everything? Of course you have, because the internet screams until you have no choice but to listen. So, instead of sitting back and watching the world burn, I've decided to throw my 2 cents into this discussion and point out where I think a lot of these discussions are misguided, which will almost certainly yield insightful comments like drink bleach, apologist fangirl, and who could forget everyone's favorite, make the top 10 best animated moments for this arc, you fucking sellout. All valid comments that I will certainly ignore because the comment section is cancer. So, let's get on with the video. Here are 9 things you, or at least the vast majority of people, remember wrong about Dragon Ball Super.
Dragon Ball Z is a flawless diamond that can do no wrong.
Or at least it feels like that's the case if you talk about it online. The major point of contention surrounds this scene, during which the Kais point out that fusion is temporary for 2 mortals fusing. And after that, the community got all up in arms.
Oh, I'm so angry about this. I can't believe they ruined fusion and Dragon Ball. Vegeta was only there for half of the episode.
This won't stop me from watching next week though. And to be honest, I'd be totally down with that sickness if it wasn't for one tiny problem. Dragon Ball Super isn't the only Dragon Ball property that retcons the original. The original retcons the original. Remember when in early Dragon Ball people needed to preserve the bodies of those that had died so that their souls could be wished back into said bodies? Well, they either completely forgot or scrapped that idea later in the series because it was a limiting and clunky narrative mechanic. Or how about Cell? His regeneration is supposed to be the same as Piccolo's, right? Yet he can regenerate from a single cell. Team 4-Star even made a joke about it. So, when Dragon Ball Super went on and made a retcon for the Potara fusion, it really wasn't a standout offense unique to Dragon Ball Super. It wasn't even the worst retcon Dragon Ball had. I mean, at this point you could argue that if it didn't have retcons, would it even be Dragon Ball? My point is, retcons don't prevent you from enjoying a series like Dragon Ball. The sooner we all agree that all of Dragon Ball, and not just Super, is stupid and fun, the sooner we can move past these pointless arguments and focus on the real problem, those damn movie recaps. Am I right? Oh. Well, technically they are recaps, but that's kinda like saying Christmas is about Santa. I mean, you're right, but also wrong. There's tons more to it than just that. So, I think in a way it's misleading to say that the first 2 arcs are just recaps. Especially when, and this is a personal nitpick, the second arc added an episode that is arguably my favorite out of the entire series in episode 18. To be perfectly honest, if it wasn't for the very fact the movies look infinitely better than the series during most of the fight scenes, which let's face it is the real reason most people watch Dragon Ball, then I'd suggest the show over the movies any day. The anime's version of the final Beerus fight is arguably better, and there is a seamless transition between the 2 arcs that wasn't present in the movies. You learn how Vegeta came to train with Whis and how Goku managed to find his way there too. We see Vegeta struggle with the thought of being left in the dust as Goku continues to soar higher in the power department. We saw the very moment Goku and Vegeta attained the Super Saiyan Blue form and the energy training they did to achieve that control. There's also countless funny, character-rich moments one would miss by not watching the anime. So no, they are not just recaps, they have added more to the story. And if it wasn't for that damn animation, then I'd recommend it every time. Speaking of which, I feel like I'm beating a puddle of blood that was once a dead horse with this one. But I still see all over the internet people rambling about how Toei Animation's budget for Dragon Ball Super was super low. Here's an in-between screenshot put side by side with a keyframe from one of the old movies to prove my point. Please stop doing this. It's not only wrong, but it gives off the incorrect notion that you have any idea what the hell you're talking about. Dragon Ball Super's animation troubles were and always have been due to their tight schedule. As an artist who knows some fantastic artists, it doesn't matter how great the artist is, if they don't have enough time to draw Goku, he's gonna look like a fucking burn victim. Or worse. If you wish to educate yourself as to how they improved, and yes, they have improved considerably since the early arcs, then I recommend checking out Anime AJ's channel. The link is in the description down below. This is going to sound stupid, but did you know that there are actually people out there who think Akira Toriyama draws the entire show every week? What do they think Toei Animation is filled with? Just Akira Toriyama with a bunch of markers and paper? But I digress. This is not to say Akira Toriyama doesn't have any input, but he might do less than you think. His work includes outlining much of the story through bullet point style instructions, and he also provides character designs on occasion for some of the cast. But not all of them. Toriyama's successor to the Dragon Ball manga helps him with that, as well as the Toei Animation staff. But that's about the extent of it. Toei Animation has a full staff of writers who, you guessed it, write the episodes based off of limited to no instructions from Toriyama depending on the episode. The same is true for Toyotaro. He largely writes the manga based off of Toriyama's instructions. This is why you will see huge variations between the manga and the anime, while they both, in a roundabout way, hit the same story beats. Okay, this one is my favorite. So spoilers came out potentially revealing how Dragon Ball Super would end. And if it ends the way people think it will end, they are going to be complaining. Now, I'm not saying that you have to like it. Feel free to not like it. But I am saying that you shouldn't use this as another reason to bolster your argument as to why you prefer Dragon Ball Z over Super. I mean, did you not see Dragon Ball Z's ending? Goku hadn't seen Bulma in years. He says peace out to his family on a moment's notice to train some child that we, the audience, and they, the cast, had never heard of. The end. It doesn't matter how rose-tinted your glasses are, that is a very unsatisfying ending. Even GT did it better. And I feel sick after saying that. But the best part is, when the news broke of Super's potential ending, everyone was so upset, talking specifically about how it was so predictable. Predictable, was it? Well, it's a good thing I had the foresight to put up a poll on my channel asking you guys who you thought would win the Tournament of Power. I put this up 3 months ago, around the time of episode 120, so not too far away from the ending either. With 11,000 votes cast, these were the poll results for who they thought would win at that time. Jiren got 8% of the vote, Gohan and Freeza came in with 13 and 14% respectively. Vegeta had 18%, and finally Goku had 48% of the overall vote. And these were the comments. So yeah, no, you guys were totally right. The ending was too predictable.
Pause it! I want an analysis on the beam width and height stat, William!
Sir, that could take days to assess both of their power levels if we comb through the series.
I have fucking time for this, William! Did you sign up for this job just to fucking puss out when it counts most?
Sir, the math just doesn't add up. Every formula, every equation, the power levels just don't
God
make sense
fucking
here.
damn it! I don't fucking get it! Hundreds of people analyzing this, and we can't figure out what the fuck is going on in this scene! You think Krillin's as strong as Goku, huh? You think that's it? Look me in the fucking eyes and tell me that bald shit rat fuckface human is stronger than a Super Saiyan God! Fucking do it!
Sir, what if he's just, holding back?
I'll fucking blast your teeth out with a fucking shotgun! You son of a fucking whore! The power levels don't make sense! The power levels don't make sense! The power levels don't make sense! I know this is my opinion, but I feel like trying to boil down what is essentially what's going to make the story interesting to mathematical units is pretty stupid, honestly. I understand there are some definite times where there's a lot of inconsistency, like I said, but people really just don't want to accept that characters A, don't always fight at full power in every scene, as well as B, inconsistent power levels have kind of been a staple to the franchise at this point.
That video you just saw was made by a talented man called The Pinwheel here on YouTube. He recently made a video discussing power levels and the toxic Dragon Ball community on YouTube, which I found hilarious and hugely entertaining. If you guys want to see more from him, I'll leave a link to his channel also in the description down below. But in short, he is completely right and put it better than I ever could. Dragon Ball Super did not ruin power scaling, it simply continued the trend that Dragon Ball had been on since that aspect of the show had been introduced. So, here's a nice complex rule of thumb for why the series creates certain scenes. Alright, are you ready? Here are the things that they consider. Step 1. Would it be cool? There are no other steps. One thing I will say about Dragon Ball Super is that they managed to cram in all the characters that they didn't use in at the end. Dragon Ball Z totally left out a ton of their characters from the original run. Looking at you, Launch. Heck, I bet even some of you out there don't even know who Launch is. Dragon Ball is a device used to sell toys. Nothing more. People can shout and argue the tiny, nuanced narrative choices of Dragon Ball like it was their past due dissertation all they want. But in reality, all fans lust after in Dragon Ball is that sweet visual cocaine. Fucking Gohan Blanco is the best example of this. Or even Super Saiyan 5. People love those even though they make no narrative sense and are fucking stupid. Oh wait. No, it didn't. Dragon Ball ruined Bulma's hair, and then Dragon Ball Z confused it further by making Trunks' hair the color his mother's should have been back in Dragon Ball. I mean, it's not like black plus blue equals purple. In short, Toriyama initially wanted Bulma's hair to be purple, but they made it blue and ran with that. That's why you'll see in certain movies and art from Toriyama, she has purple hair. All Super did was make his hair consistent in universe with what it should have been day one. They did what they could to make it work better. So stop talking about it like it's some reason to hate the show. It's not. Goku never wins in Dragon Ball Super. Oh, sorry, I stand corrected. Prior to the Tournament of Power, Goku had defeated, without the help of others, Botamo and Bergamo. Throw in a few thugs, and that's literally it. He lost to Beerus, he lost to Freeza, he surrendered to Hit, he lost to Goku Black, and he lost to Fusamasu. Dragon Ball Super has been the longest, most consistent losing streak for his character. Even Vegeta has defeated more characters in this series than Goku. Right off the top of my head, I can think of Togama, Sorbet, Frost, Megeta, Kaba. Heck, even if you include the Tournament of Power, Vegeta has still more fighters defeated than Goku in this series. You might think I'm trying to defend Super from criticism here. I'm really not. There are plenty of issues that affect Dragon Ball Super exclusively. And if you want to discuss those, then go right ahead. But if power scaling, Goku's plot armor, and Trunks' fucking hair are what you're fixated on, then you need to realize that the reality is Super inherited these problems from Dragon Ball Z. That flawless gemstone from your childhood has more holes than Swiss cheese. But what do I know? I only voted for Freeza. Thanks guys for watching. If you have thoughts on any of the points I've made, don't forget to rate the video and let me know down below how you feel. If you guys want to see more Dragon Ball goodness from me, why not try a subscription on For Size? I upload every week at the same time. But that'll do it for this week. I've been Totally Not Mark. Thank you so much for watching.